In this video, I will show you how I made this rock and bark textures seamless. We will use this free software called Texture Tiling Tool, which makes tiling organic surfaces really easy. First, go to cgbookcase.com/texture tiling tool. Link is in the description. Then click on Download. You can enter any amount here, 0 is fine. Download the Windows or Linux version. If you're watching in the future, there might also be one for macOS. Unzip the download and open Texture Tiling Tool. On the left, we have a bunch of settings for making a surface seamless. On the bottom, we have a 2D preview, and on the right, we have a 3D preview. To rotate, click and drag using the left mouse button. To zoom, use the mouse wheel or scroll on the trackpad. To change the direction of the light, click and drag using the right mouse button. Now let's import some textures. I've scanned this rock here and baked the diffuse, normals and displacement to a texture. If you want to use the same textures, there's a download link on the website. Let's drag them onto the tool. It will automatically try to assign the correct map types, but you can change them if it doesn't recognize yours. Now click on Import Textures. It will take a few seconds to import them because the textures are at a very high resolution. They are displayed in a lower resolution, so it runs smoothly. The normal map looks a bit strange. Normal maps can have two different formats, DirectX or OpenGL. This is a DirectX normal map, so let's check this tick in Preview Settings. Here we can also change the normal intensity and tiling scale. If you want to enter a specific value, you can Ctrl-click on a slider. Let's switch to the displacement view. We can start increasing this value here, and you will see how the edges start to merge together. To better see where the edges merge, activate the mask overlay. You can do the same on the vertical axis. We can control the sharpness of the transition. We can also change the width of where the transition can happen. Increasing it will make the transition follow the structure of our texture better, but it will also require us to crop it more. We can also adjust the offset to change the position of the transition. When we change the end values, it crops the texture from the other edge. If we disable the overlay again, we can see that the textures are seamless now. I usually change preview modes quite often and fiddle around with the values until I find something that looks good. The overlay is very useful to find hard edges that we want to hide. Once we're happy, we can export them to a folder and use them in any 3D software we like. Next, I'm going to show you some advanced features. I scanned this tree and baked some textures from it. So let's import them. Because I scanned the entire bark, the textures are already seamless on the horizontal axis. So I'm going to switch the tiling mode to vertical and try to make it seamless. This bark has some leaves on it that I want to remove. In the Patches tab, we can add a new patch. We can cover the leaf by changing the coordinates and the size of the patch. We can also change where the patch is sampled from by changing the source coordinates. By changing the value, power and saturation, we can adjust the color of the patch. We can also make adjustments to the displacement so it matches the area around it. I don't like how this texture is darker here compared to the other end of the texture. It makes the transition very visible. To fix it, we can go to the Equalization tab and calculate a blur map. Once it has finished calculating, we can get rid of these differences in lightness by changing the slider. This feature is experimental and works only if your texture is already seamless on the horizontal axis. If you change values in the tiling settings, you might need to recalculate the blur map again. I'm very happy with how this texture turned out, so I'm gonna export it and create a render in Blender. I hope you like the tool. If you have questions or ideas, let me know in the comments or send an email to this address. If you're looking for a freelancer who can develop web apps, creative tools, or virtual reality experiences, check out my portfolio or send me an email to this address. Thanks for watching.